All right, guys, good night. I'm gonna get started. If you can confirm you can hear me on the Zoom chat, please. That would be awesome so we can get it going. All right, so like we did the last week, we started with the ES futures for the S&P 500. And if I am not mistaken, it was right here. It was trading over here. Let me see. Yes, it was trading over here and it was struggling with the yearly pivot, and that was in the beginning of the stream, and we were saying that it needed to hold to go up. And by the end of the stream, we were opening this candle here, and we said the rejected the pivot, so we're probably going to go down, that it was all bad for the ES. And it actually was perfect. It went from pivot to pivot, and from there, that's where we call in the chat that for bounce. It hit my zone and it went up, which was just amazing. And it reached the top of our next level based on this pivot from last month, and we went back down, went below the yearly, retested, went back down. Now it's really important for us to stay above this pivot this time around. So it's something we can watch during the week and tomorrow. Okay, so let me start with the requests. I have a few requests on the private messages I got earlier. So the first one is going to be QRTEA. Long bias, according to the person that requested the ticker. Okay, so what we have here is a very strong zone that it needs to break between the quarterly and the monthly pivots, which it couldn't do it on the first time. It pushed through, but it couldn't hold it above it. So this is a very strong zone right here, from 1376 to 1402, which you can consider that as your line in the sand for the upside. If we break and hold this, most likely it is gonna go to the next pivots, which is the swing go. Intraday we're gonna check here, but for a swing term, this is the target, 1533.34 to 1546. So it's about $1.40 from the break and hold of the zone. Now intraday, let's check it out. This line, purple line here, is our line here, and this blue line is this line here on the that we just checked. That is going to be the line in the sand for the upside. So we're going to mark that. Since we have a pivot very close intraday, we're going to mark that and include that on the zone. 1 second, let me drag a little bit. Okay. So this is the break and hold for more upside. It's about 30 cents zone where it's trading right now. So this light gray line is last week's main pivot. So I'm gonna mark that. I want to mark that as a possible resistance. and it closed below it. So what we could see happening, all right, guys, I apologize for that. It looks like my internet went down for a little bit, but we are back. Can you guys hear me? Could you confirm on the Zoom group chat? Okay, great. So as I was saying, what we can see for Monday on QRTEA, since we closed below the weekly main pivot, is made a retest of the tomorrow's main level, which is 1342, and then we need to break above it for more upside. Break above, maybe have a retest to confirm, and then we're gonna go ahead and retest this big zone here. If we can break and hold, then we're gonna go to the next will be 1446, 1470, and then we're gonna probably get that 1534, 1543 that we wanted. So it's very important that we hold the pivots. Now, what is the weekly main pivot for this week? It's 1315, and it's together with an intraday support S1. But you can see when I put my mouse on top, it gets white, the 1350 right here. That means there is another pivot there. So if we dip lower, that would be the line in the sand. Let's say we dip lower here. We want this to hold and then start reclaiming all those levels again. Like that. If we lose this pivot, most likely we're going to retest the 1260. And then it needs to hold, or you know how it is. It's like an elevator. If we lose this pivot, we're going to go to the next one and the next one and the next one. But as far as I can see, it has a potential to go up. Just need to keep holding. Let's see how it happens tomorrow. I'm going to leave the lines here so we can compare it as we always do. The next ticker is Amazon. Okay. I'm going to mark this pivot here. As you can see, it had this reaction to it. And this month, it reacted to it as well. So we need to break above it for more upside. If we can't break above it, then we're going to go this direction right here. Higher time frames, it keeps doing lower highs, lower lows, I mean. It did lower highs, and now this was the first higher low on this micro uptrend, but regarding to this one is a lower high. So let's see if we can do a higher low and have something maybe like here, here, like this, or we're gonna do like this. Let me do this separate. Come here, retest this, and go back down. So those are the possibilities. Now let's see intraday. Okay, so Amazon is gonna open below a lot of important levels, unless we have some kind of crazy good news pre-market tomorrow or overnight. Check yes. Yes, it's trying to go. It's up a little bit more. Still needs to have that retest. So far, so good. So Amazon, well, let me just, who asked me Amazon, are you bullish or bearish? Do you have a position on it? Okay, so this is the main weekly pivot right here, 1867.42. That is going to be the line in the sand for the week, which will determine if it's going to be a bullish week or a bearish week. So as long as it's above that, it's going to be a bullish week. As long as it's below that, it's going to be a bearish week. Now it can always be reclaimed, but keep an eye on it for entries and stop losses and everything else. So let's see what where Amazon market is gapping up a little bit. So let's say opens around here, retest this. It needs to break and hold. Maybe we have a retest over here on this key level. Go above it, down below from this level here Friday. See here, all this, and then we go retest this monthly main pivot here, which is gonna be a very important area. Our last week main pivot was here. I really wanted to change my colors, but Zoom doesn't like me to do that. See how it doesn't like me change the colors, but that's fine. So this is gonna be a resistance zone right here. 1893.86 to 1901.54. And you can say that the line in the sand support is gonna be here. 1867.42 to 1873.91. And everything in between is no man's land. Everything in here is gonna be either sideways actions or a channel here and down until it decides to break above it or break below it. Now, if we break above it, we're gonna go retest 1916, 02, 1919. So let's mark that. This will be our next zone. And if we break below it, we're gonna retest this 1855, first level, and then 1839, and higher time frame is gonna be at 1831, which is this line here, which is gonna be this line. Okay, hope that was clear. Let me get the next sticker. Eric Long. Okay, I think we did that last week or last week. Let's check. Yeah, we checked this out. Let me remove these lines. It was a while ago. You see these intraday lines. Let's see what happened that day. See if I can find really quick right here. It actually didn't happen anything. It was most like an inside day. So lost that pivot, reclaimed, then retest here, couldn't break this strong resistance, and then just started downtrending when it broke the key level and it couldn't hold above it like it did here, and then it just started downtrending. Now let's see. Let's start for the high time frame again. So this was the day we lost this key level here that we marked 996. It started downtrending, hit one pivot, tried to hold, it couldn't hold, hit the other pivot, hold it, test the upper pivot, couldn't hold above it, sold off, and now we reclaimed it a higher low, reclaimed the pivot, pushed through, and now it hold this pivot. So now where are we going? So we have these levels here. Let's see which one is. It's like a little zone, very little zone. 2 cent zone right here that needs to break. You see the 200 is flat, so most likely we're going to see a retest there. It's a 960. You have this level here, 970. This is a very small range. It really works when you start to trending like it did here. Okay, so it closed the week above the main weekly pivot, which is a good sign. Now, where is this week's main pivot? Is 927. It's right there with our blue key line. So this is the line in the sand right here. 927, 928. It needs to hold, or we can risk to happen another sell-off. Our main zone for Monday is going to be here. It'll be awesome if you're a long bias that this holds. Don't need to retest this area again because it already did. So we don't want another retest. It's not necessary. So let's say we hold here, push through. See if we can hold and push through. If we sell here, we have to hold and then push through. So we're probably going to see something like this if we bounce there and hold. If we don't hold, then we're going to retest all these levels here. 911 most likely. Let me see if there is any trend. Trying to kind of don't want to force the trend, so zoom in a little bit. Just want to make sure I'm not forcing something that is not there. It will be more like here. So if you manage to hold, what time is this? On the 20th, which is tomorrow, 1 p.m. If you manage to still hold and it's there at that zone, the 927, 928, it's gonna be in alignment with the trend. So it really needs to hold, because if we lose this, it's gonna lose a main pivot zone and it's gonna lose the trend. So keep an eye on that. Okay. If you guys want more tickets, just let me know in the chat, okay? I'm going to leave the lines here so we can see how it shakes tomorrow. Let's see what we have earnings regarding earnings this week. We have Home Depot on Tuesday. This week is going to be retailers week. So it's going to be very interesting. You have Kohl's, JCPenney, TJ Maxx. You have Target. You have Best Buy. You have VF, Ross, Decker's brand. So you have a lot of retailers this week. Okay, so let's see how is the chart for Home Depot. They have earnings Tuesday before open. Okay, not looking awesome, but still holding a slight uptrend. It could be a bear flag too, right? Right, this is the key level. Let me see the past real quick to see why it's bouncing here. We have this pivot here where it bounced there, and we have this pivot here where it reclaimed. Oops. Where we claim and bounce from this. And also have all these reactions here, very nice before the pivot. Okay, so we have our levels. Those are key levels because of higher time frame. Let's see what we have intraday. Can Home Depot run before earnings? Well, it's trading. It closed over here, but it sold off a little bit after market close. So it closed at 192.58. The close was above this week's main pivot, but it traded below during pre-market after hours trading. So this is going to be interesting. If we really, whoever wants long on Home Depot really wants is to gap up above this resistance, have a retest, hold, and then move up. This is a level to consider as well. It was a main zone Friday and has so many good reactions to it. Broke above. Let me zoom in. Why this is a level I like. It was a main zone Friday. Broke. I couldn't break it the first time. Came down. Broke above. Retested. Hold. Went above. Retested. Hold. Came down. Couldn't hold this time. Went above. Retested. Hold. Then flush it through. Retest. And then hold under. And then came back down. So this is an important level to have in your chart. 192 on 193.18. So this color usually would be something like a pink color or different, because the blue lines for me are the monthly pivots, but Zoom doesn't let me change the colors. So this is not a monthly pivot, it's just this price action zone here from Friday. So this actually could happen here, and then try to do a here push through, or even a okay, guys, my internet dropped again, but that was fast one. Okay, so as I was saying, we want to gap up above here, preferably, and then we hold and go. And if we can't hold here, it's probably going to retest this zone. And if it doesn't hold, then we're probably going to start downtrending. Do like something like this. Now, it has earnings. I think it's Tuesday before market open. So it's going to be interesting watch tomorrow. We can have good scalps because it's going to be a lot of interest on it. So keep an eye on this zone. This is going to be our main zone for tomorrow, where the action is going to be as like a magnet going to it up and down. We have 192.23 to 192.61. Now targets, if it breaks above, is going to be 194.10 first, 190.50, and those are the main targets, which are the higher time frames. 194.94, 195.31. So if we enter here, is about $2. And if we enter even here, because it can gap down, right? Don't know. If it gaps down here, can do like this. We can enter here for also a very small risk. If it breaks under, we don't want to be in the trade anymore. So keep an eye also on 191.55. Okay, let me see what else we have as earnings that are interesting. If you guys have any tickers, just let me know. JCP Nichols, TJ Maxx is always a good mover. Nordstrom is also a good mover. Carmart is always like, everybody forget about Carmart, but it always does crazy moves. Like moves a bunch up or down. Okay, we have TGT target before open on Wednesday. So let's check TGT. TGT has been trading in the channel between these two pivots. There's three right here, creating the zone. So this is gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen. If we break above the yearly pivot, which is the yellow line, the orange line is gonna shoot up probably to 75.50. If we break below this quarterly pivot is probably gonna shoot down, most likely to, let's see, this area here, 67 or even 66.30. We see we don't have any pivots here, which is a dangerous proposition for target. The pivots all the way 60.76, but I really doubt we're gonna sell off that much. So I'm watching these other key levels from a few months ago. Regarding entries, so if you want to play the earnings or you want to play pre-earnings, you have to find a good spot. So the main weekly pivot is above here, so this is going to be a resistance to watch. 71.48 to 71.69. You see how there is no definition, always is on this range. Even on the pivot, the main zone for Monday is in between. So we don't know what's going to happen. If we gap up a little bit, we want to retest of here, and then we go here. You can take a partial here or all your position if you wish. But if you think it's going to go up, just take a partial. Then you watch for continuation. This is definitely going to be the area 72.21. And if we gap down, or even if we gap up or lose this pivot, then we can start downtrending. So let's say do like this. We're gonna start downtrending. This is the first target, and if we break below, retest, then our key zone is this one, which is our tough area to break. I'm not gonna mark this two, I'm gonna mark just the high time frames in this case. So you have downside 69.44, 69.68. So that will be the plan for target. Who else we have? If you have anyone, we have the advanced auto parts. I know a lot of people like to trade advanced auto parts. It's a wild one. If I'm not mistaken, the float is very small. Let me check. $71 million for $157 stock. Yeah, I'll consider that as a low float. So that's a wild one. Let's check AAP really quick. Just a overall outlook on it. So we held this quarterly pivot here, and now it needs to break this. This is going to be the line in the sand. Let me change one thing here so I can get the numbers easier. Put this to 50. There you go. So 160.19 is the line in sand for the upside on AAP. They have earnings Wednesday before market open. So we need to see a break of this to have this move. You see how wide is the range? And if we don't break this on the retest, then this is going to be the move here. So you can either go long or short based on this zone. Now, intraday speaking, we have a strong support. Key level is under the trading price. So this is a level it needs to hold to continue the move upside. So let's say we come retest here, go up here, and then we're going to retest that level. This is one scenario. The other scenario is we go straight there and then we sell off a little bit and bounce here. Why I'm marking here? Because last week's main weekly pivot is at here. So that's going to be important level to watch. You see how it reacts there? The main pivots either on either time frame, they are the most powerful ones and the most important ones to watch. So we can see this. We can see a break under, can hold, and do like this. So those are the levels to watch. This is the main zone to watch right here, 156.91, 157.77. And from here, we can do plays and find setups. So when you have the zones, just mark your software to alert you when it gets close to there and you watch. Just don't enter just because it's at the zone, right? Just watch how it reacts and go from there. Now, if you are aggressive, like you can have an order to enter here, and then you have an order to close you out if it breaks under. So that's a way to do it too. You can have many types of entries. You can enter here and then add here, and if it breaks under, you cut. You can enter here and just watch it. If it holds under, you cut. You can wait for the bounce and the the break above and the confirmation to enter, and then you go long. So it's your choice. It all depends of your risk tolerance. Okay, the next we have lows too. I think we played that on the chat. So let's check low. Okay, so we have already some important information. I'm gonna mark this quarterly pivot. Right here. Just want to see how it had, if it had reactions in the past. 110.42. You see, very funny. See here, and come above, couldn't hold, and went back down. So yeah, we want definitely that mark in our chart. This was on the quarter. See how it had reactions to it. Came back down, broke under, sold off. Do you see this sell off after broke under? So that's an important level to watch, 110.42. Let's see if we can find some support at the 200, 108.50. See how flat it is. And let's see if we can find some support here and go. So intraday. So Lowe's earnings is also Wednesday before market open. Oh wow, the main weekly pivots all the way down there. So this is the weak line in the sand, 107.53 is our main zone tomorrow, 108.83, 108.85, and this is the level to beat, 110.42 for upside, and the level to beat for downside is the 107.53, which is the main weekly, and then we retest the 106.58, which should hold. If it doesn't hold, then it's really gonna bleed down to 105s. So it closed right there. This one is one that we need to watch how it opens. It can just shoot up. Actually, I have some levels here. So shoot up here, retest this, come here and go up. It can shoot down, retest this, and then go up. Now it needs to break here. If it doesn't break, it's just gonna, you have to watch if it's gonna do a higher low, if it's gonna bleed it out. Watch for the lower highs too. Let's say do like this, and you can do like this. So I will mark 110, 108.80, and 107.80, and see if we get alerts near. You find good entries on those levels for low risk, and we go from there. Now, if we break above 110.42, 111.50 is not impossible to get there. Okay. Scenery, KLX, Parachute Carnival, Brands, Best Buy. Let's do BBY. BBY earnings is first day before market open. Oh, it's right at a key level. That's interesting. So it's right at this key level. Let me just change again. I don't know why this keeps changing. It's 68.98. This is an easy play, guys. When it's right upon a pivot, you can either go long and short or short with very low risk. Just watch for either weakness and rejection on that level to go short, or you watch for as a consolidation or support to go long. So that's a very easy play. Just keep an eye on it. Right here, this is going to be our entry, either up or down. 68.92 to 68.99. So it's a 7-cent window. So that's a very low risk setup. If we consolidate, then obviously we're going to go up. And if we lose this, then we're going to go down. So you have two ways to play this. If you don't want to be aggressive, you wait for the breakdown and get a retest to enter, and wait for a breakout or a retest to enter your calls or shares, right? So if you are long, your first level of turbulence is going to be 69.50, then 68.80, 69.80. And from there, you have some clear skies all the way to 70s, 70, 75, 70, 80. Now let me confirm that with the high time frame, just to be sure we don't have any speed bumps. 70, 27. Did I say that level? I don't think so. So let's mark this. That was last month's main pivot. So let's mark that. You see how it has some good reactions to it. Here, all the way here and push. So let's keep an eye on that level too. So that would be 70.26 would be the next level. And then we go to 70, 76, 7.84. Now to the downside, your first target is going to be the 68.42, which is our main weekly pivot. That's a very strong level. So keep an eye on it. You can take a partial. I would take a partial. And then you watch from there. Don't let it run too much on you. You can either put your break even on the rest. If it breaks above, you can put your stop loss at break even, or you can just put above if it breaks and hold and you cut it. Now, if we lose this pivot, the next level is going to be the 68. And you have some small levels like here, 67.80 and then 67. So I'm going to watch this tomorrow. I like the setup. It's a very low risk. So this is on my watch list, my personal watch list. Let's see what else. TD Ameritrade, BJ's. This is the first BJ's earnings or no? BJ's. No, they had earnings. So this is their second earnings report since they became, oh no, there is more. I don't know why I thought they just went IPO. I don't know why. Maybe something similar. Okay, so it's right upon the quarterly pivot. This is interesting too. This is a very strong level. We can definitely make a play out of that zone. I don't know if does it have range? 20 cents, 30 cents. So this is the level to watch tomorrow. and this. So you have two very important zones to watch on BJ's. Right now it's sold off below it, so it's gonna retest. If you see weakness and rejection, then you go short and write it out. If you don't see weakness and if you see it's kind of consolidating between this area here, then wait it out a little bit. If you're not aggressive, if you're aggressive, you can just enter and cut if it holds above it. But if you want to wait a little bit, you can always wait for it to come down and retest this and then go. If it goes above it, then you can take a long to the next zone. And this is where you're gonna keep your eyes peeled. It needs to break and hold, but this is a very strong zone. 25.99, 26.03. So it looks more bearish than bullish right now, but we never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. For right now, I'm bearish on it for a rejection of this zone, and if it breaks above it, I want a rejection of this zone. So you can either enter here and cut it if it goes above it, or you can add over here if you are a kind of trader that likes to add and build into your position. Just do a math in terms of risk management so you can split your risk into these two zones here. If it breaks above it, then props to BJ's. There's a lot of strength to break these two pivots. If it breaks above it, the next target would be 2640, 2649, and then 27. If it can break this, then it's going to be 2535, and 25 will be the next zone. 2480 is our ultimate target, which is the yearly pivot. Let me see what else we have interesting. Splunk is always interesting. Autodesk is always interesting. Let's check Autodesk. Autodesk, always good stock to trade. So Autodesk earnings is Thursday after market close. Okay. So it went above the quarterly pivot and couldn't hold. And now it's testing these levels here. Right here is like a little zone. It's kind of holding a support on this here. And it kind of looks like a flag. So we'll see. It really needs to hold this level. Let me mark as a price level instead of just a line. Let me zoom in so I know exactly where I'm marking. Marking right here. So you have all these bodies here, this big almost there, here, over here, all this here. So this is the level that we wanted to hold for this flag. As like a base of the flag would be great. Our main weekly is at 172.45, almost the same as last week main weekly, which is 172.25. So that can be like a little zone there. Like a little zone that it can hold. And then you have our very strong monthly pivot at 170, 171.35. Okay, so we want this to hold 173.93. The bad news is that it's trading below the main day pivot, which is at 175.30. So if we hold here, it needs to break this. If it doesn't break, you can just maybe see a failure. Then come test here. This is the weekly pivot, so we need to hold this to do like kind of like this. 1 second. And here, and do like this again, and then go from there. If we lose this, then we're gonna retest our main pivot, main monthly pivot, which is definitely the line that needs to hold. If we don't hold this, it's gonna be all bad. Is 171.35, and what we can do also is just hold and break through the test here, and it needs to hold this retest, breaks above it, hold, and then push. If we do this, the next, if we break the quarterly and hold above it again, the next level will be 179.11, 180.30, and 182.92. But it really needs to, like, right now is on a bearish side of the a little bit. You can say, you can make a argument that is still bullish until it's above the weekly main pivot, but is indicating so far that it is going to downtrend to there, and it needs to hold. Now let's check again the ES. Oh, it's up $10, so it's up another $3-4 since we checked. Okay, so let's see the retest and go, right? That will help all the stocks that we are talking about, will help them to be more bullish tomorrow. Let me see what else. Hewlett Packard, HP, Decker brand, Ross. Oh, our dear Foot Locker. We had a great call, Foot Locker. It made us a lot of good trades these last couple of weeks. So this what I was calling about it. I saw it, it was right here, if I'm not mistaken. I had to go back and check. I mentioned it was right upon the monthly pivot to watch for it. If it breaks above, we can see a move above, a strong push. So we saw a strong push. It went around here and rejected. I remember that day, rejected here, then came back down. And then once we reclaimed again, we could enter for another trade, and then an amazing push. It was an amazing push, about $4 almost. That's a lot, mostly for trading with options. That's a very good move. So Foot Locker is Friday before market open. A lot of things can happen till Friday, right? Right now it's doing, it's almost like a, no, it's holding this, it's trying to hold this base here. But this was a strong candle to close. Not sure if it's gonna hold this time. Okay, so the weekly main zone is right there with our day main pivot. So that's gonna be rough. We may see a push through, but we probably gonna see for a reaction at first, a rejection at first of this pivot. Let me see where it can bounce. Just checking some price action. Okay, it can bounce here, maybe. So it needs to hold at around here. Maybe do some higher lows and then push through, reject over here, retest, and then finally push. This is also a zone here. So we can see something like this. And then retest of 56.20 again. If we lose this, then we can expect a stronger pullback. Like something like this. Once we lose, because we can go up and then lose this pivot. We then go over here. Ultimate targets will be these two pivots. And then if we break that, then that's going to be bad. We can get to 52.30 before the earnings come. So my first impression, this is going to be a bearish trade, a rejection of this pivot, what I'm going to be looking for. So set a price alert at around 50.50 maybe to give you some time to get there and watch. And we can put also at 55.05 because then we broke this. We want to watch if we break the whole number 55 and then we go down. So that will be the plan for Foot Locker. Okay, guys, if you have any tickers, now is the time. Okay, so let me know in like about 1 minute or so if you have any tickers for me to check for you. And then we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, so let's check CSCO and then NVS. Those are very strong candles. Okay. So as you can see, this pivot from last month is a very important pivot because it had so many good bounces and reactions to it. Let's mark that. For 663. Check ES real quick. I thought something was happening because my computer started to scream. Usually that happens when ES moves fast. Okay. So he couldn't break above it on the first and second tries. We're probably going to see a retest of this zone here. Okay, so it has the main day zone to defend the ground. It needs to hold above it if you're long bias. Right here. which is 56.19, 56.23. If we lose that, we're going to retest the main pivot, which is right here. It needs to hold as the main monthly pivot. So it definitely needs to hold for more upside. If it doesn't hold this, then we're going to maybe retest the yearly pivot. I have to see what else we have intraday. Where is the, trying to find the weekly main pivot. Oh, it's all on 54.75. Okay, so yeah, if you're long, watch these levels. This will be at least my if I was long on this would be my cut line. If he goes down and he can't reclaim right away, I'll be watching with my finger on the trigger to cut my long. So we need to hold this for retest of that strong resistance that it couldn't hold above it many times, 2 times actually. She was right here Friday. If we see a retest of those levels, we may see a rejection. Maybe a rejection of this zone here. So if we see a strong push on the open or pre-market, we may see a rejection of this. Then it needs to hold 56.63 this time, otherwise it's gonna go down again. And that's gonna be all bad because people are gonna pile to short it. Now if it breaks and hold above this zone, next target will be 57.52 to 57.58. And then ultimate target 58.43, 58.49, which is the quarterly pivot, which is strong level. Now if we break below, the target for downside will be first 55.50, which is the yearly pivot. If we don't hold the yearly pivot, then it's all bad for CSCO. It really needs to hold this zone here. If we break below it, then it's gonna touch the weekly main pivot. As you guys know, 80% of the time, price reverts to the main pivot. The main weekly pivot is at 54.75. So that's something to consider. I'm not saying it's gonna go there. All I'm saying is that it's something to consider. And that will be Cisco. The next one will be NVS. Novartis, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Just checking the past a little bit. We have this past pivots here. And then we have here. And that's what's holding it back. So if you're wondering why something's holding back, the answer is it gonna be either a pivot right now on the current time, or something that happened in the past. So just check really quick, and then you're gonna find out your answers. So why I mark this, you have this monthly pivot and you have this pivot on the 2 months before, and you have all these reactions to it. So I like that. I marked this one because we had, let me zoom in here, 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 all of those reactions. So that's a zone for me, very strong one. And if you go back today, you can see that's where it has been struggling. Right there. Close it under it, actually. So if it doesn't reclaim, then we can start maybe a move back down. Now, to where is the question? Let's check it out. Now, upside targets is clearly going to be the 84, 84.10, which is even 84.50, but it needs to break the main yearly pivot. So you can say 80 to 84.50. That's the zone for the target to upside. If it holds above 83.18. Now let me see. Okay, so it's gonna have to break the main day pivot zone right there for upside. It's trading below it. It's gonna go and retest for sure. Most likely, right? And I can't say for sure, but most likely it's gonna revert to the main pivot, retest it, then it needs to hold. Maybe a retest of 82.85, and if it holds, it can find some strength and volume to push through, and then it goes. We're gonna retest that zone again, 83.18, 83.11. That's the top of the zone that we marked. The 83.18 is gonna form a cluster with this intraday zone, and that's where it has to beat. It needs to beat this here to get to our ultimate goal. First little speed bump is gonna be 83.53. It's only the R1, R2 actually, daily R2. So if it's not only, but you know what I mean, it's not a high time frame. So it's possible to go through, retest, and then this is the goal right here. First level will be here. Now, if you are long, that will be your first. That's where you had to take some for sure. Like if you're still holding your full position at this point, then you had to know your risk. And then if you break and hold this, then 84.50. But this is a very rough area. Now to the downside, let's say we can't do this, then the first target will be 82.49, 82.56, then 82.29, 82.32, and ultimately the main weak pivot, which is at 82. That's the line it needs to hold. If we have a strong pullback and we hold 82, then it's still okay. It's not perfect because, you know, if you're holding options, it can start decay. You can, let's say you took some profits here, then you watch it go down. And if it holds, you can add back in. So that's an option as well. And if it doesn't hold, then you can consider taking some out. Now this is a level, is the main weekly for last week. Keep an eye on it as well, 81, 82. You see how react perfect, just perfect reactions off of it. And that will be Novartis. 1 second. So what I want to do now, one second, I want to show a little bit of our chat room for if you don't know and want to join. We have a lot of good traders there that help us out every day. So this is our chat room, the TradeRep chat room. We have alerts every day, all the time. We have people talking about ideas and something's moving. Check this out. We have a free entry level, so you can join for free and participate of the chat rooms and discussions. This is me when I start alerting from the pre-market 7 a.m. I am 1 hour ahead East Coast, so 8 a.m. for me, the 7 a.m. open of the market. If you can see OTLK, we had lined up all the levels for that great mover right before market open. And then our traders already had targets to enter positions, to add positions, to stop loss, to take profits. So how we trade is we take partials on our resistance levels, and we watch the support levels to either enter positions or add into our winning positions. Here you see Tesla had bad news, and we talk about things. Baidu down on earnings. We give the levels. People made a lot of money out of levels that we laid out for earnings. We have people can request, our members, even if you pay or non-pay member, you can request for me to check, or other mods check on your stock, and we're gonna do it for you. For example, here I'm answering the member what Cisco had to do on Friday, and our options. You have a lot of good options alerts all day long. This was the week. On Wednesday, we had all these amazing calls and wins on options trading. Here, like almost 100%, 100%, 100%, almost 100%. This was almost 100%, almost 100%. It's just amazing wins. Look at this one, from 48 to 276. That's amazing. Facebook, 100%. So just come check it out. It's free. You don't need to pay for the entry. Now the alerts are only for members. You can join and do a free three market days trial and check it out if it's for you. If you don't want to pay, just join us to talk about options, to talk about stocks. We also have great OTC alerts. Q, which is our main OTC mod, he's just the best on the market out there. So just come join us. I'll be there tomorrow, 7 a.m. market open. Come talk to me and let's make some money together. Please enjoy your night and have a great week in trading. Thank you so much.